Alison. Thank you for joining me for your April 2016 forecast. For the month, I am using the Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place, my steadfast deck. It's a limited edition. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for subscribing to the channel and for liking and sharing these posts and for your support on my Facebook page, Audrey, Alison, Astrology, and Tarot. I've got a ton of retrograde personal planets, and actually not just personal planets, a ton of retrogrades this month. So let's get to it. We have two transits occurring on the 5th of April. We have Venus entering Aries into your 4th house of home, which will then ignite the energy that exists in Sagittarius between Mars and a retrograde Saturn in the 12th house. So Venus entering Aries will give a harmony to the home sector, and it's a lot of female energy. The 4th house is a feminine sector. It rules the mother, and Venus herself is Aphrodite, the empress, the goddess of the female sensuality and attraction. So you might, for those single Capricorns, you could have a lot of women come into the home at this time. There could also be a harmony of your relationships within your environment and a connection to your mother, possibly. Venus trining Mars in the 12th could activate the dream life in regards to dreams of attraction, dreams of women, feminine energy. Your review of Saturn retrograde in the 12th house, I don't mind this. Saturn in the 12th is a very easy place for him because there's limitation and restriction with Saturn in a house that's about the internal self, your spiritual awareness and your intuition. You could be reviewing some of your dream life at this time. And also on the 5th of April, Mercury enters Taurus, a brother-sister earth sign like you are, in the 5th house. This trines Pluto, who's stationed in your first solar house of self. Solar first house. I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied. I'm already getting the effects of Mercury. My ruling planet is about to go retrograde, and I can already feel it. Tripping all over my words. But Mercury being communication and the intellect, study, the mind, and how you're talking, your communication style in the 5th house is really about Capricorns who are looking to date or for attraction or looking for a new passion or romance, which is the 5th house. Also Mercury in the 5th, your communication style with your children is heightened at this time. Trining Pluto in your 1st could be a very intense communication with a child. Some of you, now this is interesting because I'm getting some of you are deciding to have the talk about the birds and the bees with a child, which is about Pluto, the planet of sex, intensity, and death, and life, and intimacy, in your 1st house, trining Mercury in the 5th, which is the communication with the child. Perhaps some of your children are curious right now about their sexuality, and this could be a way that plays out. Now, for those of you without children, the 5th house can apply to your creative endeavors. For those of you with children, this could also apply to your creative endeavors. But I'm showing you different definitions of how these energies can work for you. So hoping you can draw and pick from which parts of these messages resonate with you at this time. So for your creative projects that are definitely felt with an intensity because Pluto is with you right now, Capricorn, you could really be expressing yourself through songwriting in the 5th house, or maybe even taking a risk with a gamble in the 5th house as well, of gambling and leaps of faith. We have our new moon earlier in April on the 7th at 18 degrees of Aries, where Venus is stationed, conjunct Venus, conjunct Uranus, and obviously the sun and the moon are in this sector, creating the new moon in Aries, 18 degrees in the 4th house of home. New environments could be coming into the path for Scorpio. A new foundation, a new support, I don't want to say support group because that's more about the 11th house, but I'm thinking about, I'm seeing wooden beams underneath a property and then diagonal wood beams and concrete underneath them, foundation, which is the 4th house. Some of you are actually going through a literal revamping of your foundation, which is the soul or the body of you, or metaphorically it would be the soul. A literal one is the foundation of your home. So I'm seeing both things here. I'm getting a premonition or a vision, a clairvoyance of someone's home being worked on. And then I'm also feeling like this could be about making sure you are sturdy in your environments, in your relationships, in your connection to mother. So, and for those of you looking for new residence, at this time, the new moon on the 7th is a great time to construct your list of what it is you want to see in this new home and to manifest that on the new moon. On the 17th, we have Mars retrograding back to 23 degrees of Scorpio. So this is actually, retrograde starts in the 12th house, going back to the 11th house, because Mars is currently in Sagittarius. And then retrogrades back into the 11th. So there is a review where your energy is in the social sector. Some of you don't have energy for relationships at this time, or older friendships that you used to be connected to. The 11th house of friendships and clubs and groups, organizations, things like that. Whatever you were joining and whoever you connected with, Mars is maybe seeing whether or not you have energy for this or you don't. Mars is about stamina, passion, and physicality. So some of you, and this retrogrades through the 30th of June. Mars is pretty long because he retrogrades once every 2 years and a little bit more. So you're reviewing your spirituality, you're reviewing what you're intuitive about, you're reviewing your friendships, and you're seeing where you have energy for who. That's what it is. Who deserves your energy and who doesn't. And this is also kind of sexual because Mars is the planet that rules physicality and stamina and working out and aggression. Maybe some of you Capricorns are reviewing a physical relationship with someone in the 11th house. That could apply to some of you. On the 18th, Pluto retrogrades, making things a little bit intense for you because they already are. Let's just be real. They've already been intense for quite some time. I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, Capricorn, because I feel like you have had this on your shoulder here, this burden, the 10 of Wands energy with Pluto in the 1st house, where even if you wanted to be really lighthearted, it's hard to. You go right back into that serious tone again. You're serious by nature, Capricorn. You rule the 10th house of authority on the solar wheel. So with Pluto retrograding, you're just, I think you're seeing things crystal clear, and the body is a sure sign of when things aren't working for you. You'll get physical ailments such as bone issues, teeth issues, skeletal issues with Capricorn. Now, on the 19th, the Sun enters into Taurus, into this 5th house, where he'll be conjunct Mercury. So there is a lot going on with pregnancy, with fertility, with creative projects, with children, with what is fun for you. Now, fun is not always easily accessible with Pluto in the 1st, but when you do find it, it's really treasured. So you don't take a lot for granted, Capricorn, which is one of the beautiful things about you. Everything matters. And you treasure little things of nature and flowers, a blooming bud, things are precious around you. And I think you know that. And this is a great time for romance for Capricorn. If you're looking for connection, I love this time period for you. And for those of you in relationship, this is seems very romantic and very passionate. On the 22nd, we have our full moon at 2 degrees of Scorpio in this 11th house of social clubs and groups and friendships. So there is an ending to your relationship with some clubs or groups that you're connected with, and maybe an end to a friendship. You're discerning who, like I said with Mars, who's worthy of your time and who isn't. Where do you have energy? Who do you have energy for, and who do you not? On the 28th, this is when we have our Mercury retrograde, and this lasts through the 23rd of May. Mercury officially clears his shadow on the 7th of June. So he retrogrades at 23 degrees of Taurus in this brother air sign, back to 14 degrees of Taurus in this 5th house. Maybe there's a romantic interest from the past, because Mercury retrograding in this 5th house, it's great for romance in general, but Mercury retrograde brings in lovers that you used to know. Hearing from the past, communication, hearing from Mercury. Someone could receive an email or a text these days with a Mercury retrograde. Now on the 29th, Venus makes another transit into Taurus, into this sector where Mercury's retrograding. Now Venus is there going, I'm attracting people, I'm attracting passion, I'm harmonious, I'm sensuality. So this is pretty super for Capricorns looking for love, looking for physicality. Let's get physical, Olivia Newton-John style. That's what I'm hearing. Maybe I should have wore a headband for this forecast and just like got out my weights and went for it. Oh, ONJ realness. I'm feeding you some ONJ realness. Okay, let's get to the cards. I've been shuffling the whole reading and see what comes up for Capricorn for April 2016. And if you'd like to read with me, I'm at audreyallison.com. I read all through the week, your astrological chart, or just tarot, or a combination of the two. Okay. Temperance, moderation, patience, balance, beauty, timing, the path that leads to the sun. It's a sign of Sagittarius as well in the tarot, where you have Mars, where you have Saturn. Interesting. Trining. What are they saying? Oh, Venus, when Venus enters Aries. Okay, I'll get to this summation in a minute. The Six of Coins. Shared resources. Two children. Considering the 5th house is so highlighted for you, Capricorn, those of you with 2 kids need some patience right now, and maybe you're saving some of your financial security for your children, but this is all in due time, all in sweet time. Okay, let's see what else comes up. Ace of Cups. Talk about new romance. Hell yeah. This is the 5th house. This is new love, passion. It's also the season of summer. So summer lovin'. Oh, that's more ONJ. That's more Olivia Newton-John, John Travolta. Summer lovin' from Greece. What is going on? I hope Olivia Newton-John's all right. She's my girl. I love her. Okay, let me get to the other cards. Strength. Love seeing this card. Sign of Leo. But also action, strength, vitality, veracity. And the 8 of Coins. Getting to work, accomplishing your tasks. Skill set. Having skill, earning money, and you have financial energy around you, the support of other people. For those of you without the 2 kids symbolism, this is financial support, investors, loans, receiving money through generosity or family. And some of you are just working and plugging away at it. This is about the time frame of July, June and July. This is June 21, and this is the sign of Leo, which is July 21 through August 23. Either way, these cards together, the definition could be strength with a new love, strength in connection to romance. It's going to take some time, but it's heading that way. With all of this energy that's just starting in the second half of April in your romance sector, perhaps some of this attraction and attractiveness is happening through the month of June and July. Because energy exists, but it doesn't mean it just happens within that hour and that's it. It does take a minute to do its thing. So I see attraction around Capricorns. I see relationship with children expanding and communication happening with the children. I also feel like there's a romantic review of the past with Mercury retrograde in your fifth. I think that you need to take time with yourself and be patient. Your earnings are coming through summer, and I feel like your strongest earnings will be in July, mid-July through mid-August. Thank you so much, Cap. I hope you found this helpful, and I appreciate you spending some time with me. I'm wishing you a beautiful April and a sweet day. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.